Hello and welcome to another video tutorial with KingTech Coding Clinic once again. So in this video tutorial, I'm going to show you step by step how we can develop this amazing visitors logbook for either your school or a workplace or whatever you would want to use it for. If you are looking for a system like a visitors logbook that will help you log in any visitor that visits your school or your workplace, then this step-by-step video tutorial is for you. So now let's delve in and see how the system operates before we delve into the development process. So first of all, just click on this button to launch the system. And from here, whoever visits your school or your workplace, first of all, you would want to log in the person's details, and then the time, the date, and other information concerning the visits. So first of all, we start with the visitor's name, the name of the visitor. Let's say Nana Ama or something like that. And then meeting with who has the person come to meet with. Let's say HOD, so let's say head of department. So, and then mobile number of the person 024567. Okay, and then the purpose of the visit is probably, so this is just a fictitious number here. Purpose of the visit maybe is about student performance. There we go. And then the address, maybe she is coming from maybe GES headquarters or whatever. So from there, and quickly you go ahead and click on submit. So you have these details submitted. And now what is going to happen is this. If you have, let's say you have a long list of what details here, we can filter to search any record by either the visitor's name or the meeting with, who the visitor came to meet with, purpose of the visit, or the address. We can be able to filter or search or filter the record by that. We can equally be able to filter the record either by date. Let's say you would want to find out those who visit the workplace or school within the month of January. You can just filter starting from the 1st of January to the 30th of January, and then you go ahead and filter, and then you can see that it will filter all that for you. If you would want to filter a particular person, let's say Nana Ama, that is by name, you would want to come here and choose visitor by name or visitor's name, and then here you type the name, let's say Nana Ama. So you just type that, and then once you click on refresh, that will refresh only that person. Okay, so basically that will just filter that person alone. So once we are done with the person, let's reset our phone. Let's say once we are done with the person, the next thing we would want to do is probably the person is leaving the school. So we would have to update the time the person is leaving. Immediately you submit, the system is going to go ahead and capture the date of the visit. You can see 22nd January 2025, and then the other details you've captured. And then the system automatically generates the time the person has come. The moment the person comes in, you log in. So as the person is still within the schools or the work environment or whatever, the time is still ticking. So once the person is about to leave, just go ahead and select that person's record and click on update timeout. So once you click on that, it will update the time the person is leaving the session. So from here, you can see that it has updated the timeout, meaning the person just stayed for 1 minute 38 seconds. And because the person came in at what, that is 4:11:53 seconds PM, and then the person is leaving at 4:13:31 seconds PM. So the stay time or the number of minutes the person spent at your workplace or school is what? Just 1 hour 38 seconds. So that is how the system works. Like I said, if you have maybe any issues with any of the records of any of the member or whatever, let me just relaunch it for you to see something here. Let's say one of the visitors details, there is a mismatch or something, you can update the record. How do we update the record? Let's say we want to update Nana Ama's record. Just double click it. And you have the details popping up inside the system. Okay, so you see, so from here, let's say you would want to add something to the name. Let's say Miss or whatever. Let's say you want to add that, so just add Miss and quickly just click on submit. That will update the record. So you can see that we have Nana Ama or Miss Nana Ama as a record updated. So basically, that is how this nice and amazing system works. You can filter by phone number, the purpose, the address, and then by name. You can also filter between dates. Let's say you would want to find out those who visit the school from the month of January 2020, 1st January to 30th January 2025. 1st January, you just choose here 31st January, and then you filter, and that will filter all those who have visited within that time frame. So basically, that is that about the system. Now, if you would want to learn how to develop the system step by step, I would want you to stick around, follow the video tutorial step by step. Okay, I have all the source files in the video description. The system is not included. You got to learn how to develop it. So I only have the source code for you. So you follow step by step. When we get to where you're just going to copy the source code and paste it, modify it to suit your school's environment, and then you have the system up and running. I also have an important update and good news for you at the end of this video tutorial. So if you want to get that, then stick around till the end for you to hear or listen to the good news and the updates we have for you. So basically that is that. Let's delve into the development process. So first of all, I'm going to close this form entirely, save this record here and close everything. I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder, and let me just name it logbook. And inside this folder, I'm going to create an Excel file. So let me just open this up. Let me just come here and choose Excel. Let's search for Excel, Excel, then you choose this one here. And from here, what we're going to do is choose Excel, and from here, choose the workbook. And then let's give it a name like so. Let's say save as, and then let's go to probably this PC. Let's choose desktop, and let's locate the folder that is called logbook. Open it, and then choose macro enable workbook and change the name to what? V logbook, visitors logbook for short. Then hit enter, and there you go. So we have that here. So now we need the database. So we just create some columns for that. So first of all, we need the ID. So we have this as the ID, as the first column ID. So now the first sheet here should be named data. Let's name this data. So we have the ID, and then we have the date, and then we have the visitor name, and also we have the mobile number, and we also have the meeting width, and then we have the purpose of the meeting, purpose, and then we have the address, and also we have the in time, or the time the person has come, and then the out time, the time the person leaves, and then we also have stay time, the number of minutes the person stayed. Stay time. There we go. So now up to J. So now let's select all this here. Let's format it. Let's change the font style to Times New Roman, and here let's give it a deep background color, and then white text color. You would want to bold it probably, and then we want to just stretch the columns, open up a bit. Visitor's name, this can be closed a bit, and mobile number, meeting width, expand it a bit. Purpose can be sometimes longer, so open it up. Address, open it up. In time, out time, and stay time remains as they are, because you're going to just be storing time. So there we go. So now let's select all this here, be clean, and then we center them perfectly and save. So now what we are going to do is also create another sheet, which is called the display or data display. So what's going to happen is this: since we're going to be using the same header or headers for that sheet, we're going to create a copy of this one. So press and hold Control on the keyboard and drag this and leave it here. So double click on it and name it display underscore data. So that will display the filtered data before it gets back to the form. So basically that is that. So now we are going to run an advanced filter. Okay, so advanced filter is where we filter records based on a particular criteria. So here the criteria we're going to be using is the date. You're going to be having different ways of filtering data. We are going to be searching records by name, by visitor's name, by purpose of the visit, phone number, and others. We'll also be filtering with date. So now with the date, we're going to be using advanced filter for that. So now let's use the column R and S as our criteria range. So what's going to happen is this: let's go and copy the date, or let's copy all these columns here. Copy these columns here. Control C to copy this, and then quickly come here up to column W, and then Control V to paste. So here you want to click on this and stretch the source column width to match that. Save your work. So now let's copy the date. Control C to copy and paste it at R. Control V to paste, and then expand it, and then add another one to S. So R and S will be the criteria range. So this is going to hold the start date of the advanced filter and then the end date of advanced filter. Both of them are date. So we take note of that. So once we are done with this, the next thing is to quickly start developing our form. So to do that, let's go to developer tab. If you don't have developer, just come to file, you come to options, and you go to Microsoft or customize ribbon, and then from here you locate developer, make sure it is checked, and quickly once it is checked, you just go ahead and click on OK, and then you have your form up and running. So now let's just this. So from here, let's open this one here, and then we have this to develop our form. But to do that, before we delve into the development of the form, we have the calendar or the date picker. I have it in the source files. You can check the link in the video description, and then you pick that folder and use. So now select this file and then click on import. So once you click on import, you browse to the desktop. I have a folder named source files. Open that folder and choose calendar, and then quickly open it. So we have that, and we also have the advanced filter module. So let's import that as well. Choose this and then you import. There we go. So we have this too. We have the calendar here. So now the next thing is we need our form. So click on insert and go to user form. Let's expand this form a bit. There we go. This looks good. So once we have this, let's select this form now, and quickly let's change the background color of the form. So we go here and let's give it this color here. Now we need the headings for the form, or the header or whatever. So select this one here, and this that is the image control. Select the image control. Now make sure it is selected, and then let's change the color to this deep blue color here. And now we need a label here. Just draw the label, and here just type visitors logbook. There we go. So select this. So now let's come to font and format this appropriately. So let's go to bold Times New Roman, and then we would want to give it font size of probably 26, and there we go. So we have this. You can just decrease it a bit, and then we would want to center it. So let's scroll down and double click here to center that. So now let's select it and change the font color to white. So we go to 4 color here, we change it to white, and then the transparency here we set it to transparent. So now let's drag it and place it at the top here. There we go. So now I think this color is not that 4 color is not black, it's not white. Let's use pure white color. So there we go, we have this. So let's position it in the middle. There we go. So now we need our various labels and then text boxes. So now let's grab the first label here. So let's draw this label here, cute, and let's drag it to the top a bit. So here let's name it visitor name. Okay, visitor's name. There we go. So now let's format it so that we can just copy it to replicate for others. So we go to font, bold Times New Roman, and then probably 10. It's not bad. So there we go. So I would want to give it okay, I think this looks okay. So now we need our various text boxes. So now let me pick the first text box. So we grab this one. Let's draw the text box at the bottom here. There we go. So now let's format this text box properly. So now let's choose the border style to single. So we choose this, double click here to choose single. So now let's format the fonts and get the fonts clearly as stated before we create copies of it. Let's go to fonts, choose Times New Roman, and then we would want to bold it. And there we go. After bolding it, I think basically that is that. Now we change this to, and then we increase the font size to 10, and there we go. So we have that. So text box 1. So now select this, Control C, Control V, and then let's bring this one here. And this, sorry, and this is going to be phone number, or so mobile number, right? So whichever you want to choose. So mobile number, and then that is text box 2. We select this, Control C, Control V, bring this one here, and then this is going to be meeting with. Okay, sorry. Meeting with, yeah, meeting with. There we go. So this text box 3. So we select this, Control C, Control V, drag this one and place it here. And this is going to be for purpose of the visits. Purpose of the visits. So save your work. And now the last form is going to be for address. So let's text box, Control C, Control V. So we drag this one and place it here. As here, but here we going to, okay, now this one we choose address from here. So see, address, there we go. So this text box 5. So now let's select this one and then expand it a bit. and then open it up up to this level probably. There you go. So now select this one. Let's give it a multi-line so that we can have multi-line. So scroll down and look for multi-line here and set it to true. And there we go. So save your work now. So now what is going to happen is we need our button. So now let's grab the first button here. It's going to be the submit button. So we draw this one here. There you go. So select this. And then we would want to make it transparent so that the color of the button will match the background color. So here, double click here. Make it transparent. So let's name it FRM submit, FRM submit. Please make sure to name it like so that it matches with the codes we're going to be copying and pasting. So now select this one and let's change the name to what? Submit. There we go. So now we would want to select it and format it. So we come to font here, font group. You want to bold it and then Times New Roman and then choose probably 12. There we go. We save this one here. And also let's forget now the name of the form. Let's name it FRM log book. Perfect. So here the headings or the caption, let's change it to visitors logbook. Visitors logbook. There we go. We have that as well. So we save our work. So now the next thing is we need our combo box that is going to be used to filter these records. That is how you're going to be filtering by purpose, by name and all that. So now we grab this combo box here. Okay, so we just draw it somewhere here. Combo box. There you go. So now allow it the way it is. Make sure it's selected and then let's set the border style to single and let's format it. So let's come to font style. Let's choose bold and then Times New Roman and then set it to 10. That is perfect. So we save our work. So now select this and copy this and paste it here. Control C, Control V, and then here we are going to modify this to filter by. So we select this. So we say filter by. So that's going to be filtered by what? Probably by name or by visitors name, by whatever. So now we have other buttons here. So select this one. Control C, Control V. Here is going to be reset button. So select it and position it well. There you go. So select this. So we have this one. Let's call it reset, and then make sure it is selected. We come here, CMD reset. There we go. Perfect. So now once we are done with that, the next thing is we need other text boxes to be able to get the date. That is where we can filter by date. Okay, so now let's select this one. Control C, Control V, filter by date. So here you say date, and then here we select it and bring it down here. Perfect. So we select it and reduce the font size. So let's go to font group here. So select this here. Let's come to bold. Make sure it is bold, and then Times New Roman, and then reduce it to at least 9. 9 will not be bad. So filter by date. So now we need a text box. So select this, Control C, Control V, and then we place it here. This is text box 6. Okay, let's see this one here. Okay, this text box, let's place this one here. That is going to be for the refreshing. Okay, where we're going to be after filtering this data here, we are going to search by based on what we filter here. If it is by name, we type the name. If it is by purpose, we type the purpose here. So let's keep text box 6 for that as well. So here, then select this button, Control C, Control V. So let's keep it somewhere here. Let's name it to refresh. And there you go. So we have this one to here, and reduce it, scale it down a bit. Select it, and then let's reduce the font size and scale it down to 10, and there we go. Perfect. So CMD refresh. So let's name it CMD refresh. There we go, and save your work. So now let's drag it and close it a bit. Now we need another button here. Select Control C, Control V. This is going to be update out time. So let's put it here. Let's drag it a bit. Let's change it. Update out time. This is the button for updating the out time of the visitor. And then we have our delete button here too. So let's try a bit. Select Control C, Control V. So we place it here. So let's name it delete. There we go. So with the delete, select it, and then let's change the background color of it. Let's give it some red color. Sorry, the back color of this button. So select it. Okay, now it shouldn't be transparent. Let's make it double click here, the back style, to make it opaque so that the color can appear, and then the fore color should be white. So we set that to be white. Now there we go. So now we have this one. Let's call it CMD update out time. So CMD update out time. Please, you make sure you name it exactly as I'm naming it. CMD update out time. Here CMD delete. So this one CMD delete. There we go. So now we save this one as well. So now we need another text box. So select this, Control C, Control V. We drag it and place it here for the date, filtering by date. So we place it here. So we reduce it, scale it down a bit this way, and select next one, Control C, Control V here, and we place it also here, somewhere here. I think that is okay. So let's move this one here a bit. Sorry, place it here a bit. So now we need the date to and from. So this is going to be from, date from, we say from, and then we scale this one down a bit. We are choosing from which date, so we place that here. Select it, Control C, Control V, and then here to, meaning from this date to this date, and then to. There we go. So let's select this and that, and then let's move them a bit apart a bit. Sorry about this. I think that is looking good. So now let's save our work. So now the next thing is we need this filter button here. So select this, Control C, Control V, place it here. Let's name it filter, and there we go. So select it. This is CMD refresh, CMD filter, CMD filter. There we go. So let's save our work now. So now everything is looking kind of good. So now we need the icons to choose our calendar. Okay, that is the calendars we have. That is this and that. So what is going to happen is this. Let's get the image control for this. So let's drag this to the top and get the image control. So select the image control and just draw it this way. Select it, and let's go to picture. So we choose this one here, and then I would want to go to my root folders, and then let's go to icons here. And then let me grab this one. I'll include it inside the source file so you can use it. Double click here, and there we go. So select this, Control C, Control V, and then you place it here as well. So here, select this one and name it. Let's name it, sorry, cow icon 1, meaning calendar icon 1, and then here cow icon 2. Okay, cow icon 2, and then cow icon 1. So this one, let's start with capital C. Perfect. There you go. So we have everything up and running. So now the last thing we need is our list boxes, but before then we need additional text box. So select this, Control C, Control V. Let's bring it here. That is going to be holding our ID, but the ID is not going to be shown. So let's drag it and place it somewhere here. Make sure you select it and name it txt underscore ID. txt underscore ID. There you go. So we have that. So now save your work. So now let's get our list boxes. So now we are going to be using two list boxes. List box 1 and list box 2. So now the first one is going to be here, list box 1. So select it and just drag it and just place it here. There we go. Let's drag this down a bit. Perfect. And then what is going to happen is this is list box 1. So we allow it to be the way it is. And then we have the second one. So select this one, Control C, Control V. So we have the second one. So put the second one on top of the first one so that you can't see the second one. So when you select, you can only know that the first one is at the top. Okay. So with the first one being at the top, since we're going to be filtering data from here, we're going to be filtering data from here and quickly bring it down here straight to probably the list box here. We need to define the column width. So now let's select this and let's look at the number of columns we have here. For here we have how many columns? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, up to 10 columns, right? So yeah, perfect. We need that here as well. So select this, then column count is what is up to 10, and then column heads set it to true, okay? And then here let's look at this. Okay, column width. Okay, now with the column width, based on this, I think let's just define something like this. Let's make this one, because of the address and then the address as well as the purpose. Address and purpose lie where? So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. We are not going to be filtering this one, so we need 9 columns. So the ID is going to be excluded, so we need 9 columns. So I'm going to change that. So we have, starting from date, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the purpose and address are in 5 and 6. So now let's go and modify that. So here I'm going to change this to 9. Purpose, and then this is going to be 5 and 6. So I'm going to make it this way: 100, 100, 100, and that is the first 4. So the 5 is for purpose. So purpose may belong. So I'll make it 300. So after 100, then 300. Then address to may belong. Let me make it 250. And then the rest 3, I'll make them 120. Sorry, I'll make them 100, 100, 100, 100. So now I have like 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. So now the width are also determined. So basically this looks good for now. So now let's grab our source code and paste it. Then we begin with the modifications and see how things are going to work. But before that, okay, let's open this particular source file here and open this particular file here. Just copy everything, Control A to select, Control V to paste. So now let's go to our user form, double click any part of the user form. But before that, select this particular text box. Let's come to visibility, visible, visible. Then here we set it to what? False, so that when we launch the form, it can be seen this way. So now let's run it. We realize that that form cannot be seen, and that button cannot be seen, that text box cannot be seen, is hidden. So now let's close this now. Sorry, let's go back to our form. Let's double click here, and then let's clear everything here. Now Control V to paste. So we have pasted our source code now. So now we need to go through certain things and do some few modifications. Now first thing first, let me just walk you through certain things here. Let's go back to the form and let's make sure that each and every module matches with the button. Let's double click on the submit button, so we can see that with the submit we are out of coverage, meaning that the submit, the way we name the submit button, didn't match. So we need to go ahead and then do some few modification. Let's locate the submit button here. CMD submit, CMD submit, CMD submit. This is it. We have CMD submit here, and then the one we have created, we call it FRM submit, which should be CMD submit. So now to make things simple, let's go back to that. I don't know why I always make it FRM. So select this and call it, change it to CMD submit, CMD submit. There we go. So now save your work. So now let's double click it, so you can see that we are inside the submit model. So let's go back to confirm each and every model. So let's go to refresh. Okay, we are inside that model as well. Let's go to update out time. So we are inside. The moment you double click and you find the cursor blinking inside the subroutine or sub procedure, meaning you are on course. So let's go back. Let's go to filter. Perfect, we are there as well. Let's go to delete, and there we go, we are there as well. And finally, let's go to reset, and perfect, that looks good. And now let's go to the user form, initialize, and there we go, we are there as well. So now everything looks good. So now the few things we need to adjust is where we are going to be running this filter here. So now let's double click on this one. We have an advanced filter to run. So let's select this particular name, which is called search filter, and then let's go and create advanced filter with this name. So I've just copied this one, that is inside the filter button, this one here, filter here. Double click on this one and come here and copy this name, which is called search filter. So select this. Now let's go to our sheet where the advanced filter is going to be run. So this is it. So here we're going to be selecting this one from here, and then let's name this one to be like 1 and then 2. So now let's select this and let's go to formulas. Let's go to name manager and let's create new name manager and expand this, and let's use the name we just copied. So select here, clear the name and paste this one. So here let's clear this. Let's clear this. Type offset. Inside the parentheses we want offset the first heading here, comma 1, 0, count A. Then you open your parentheses, then select the entire column, close the parentheses, comma, then we have up to 10 columns, right? Then you close the parentheses, then click on OK. So now select this, and then we have distance here. Perfect. So now I think everything is going to look good. Perfect. Okay, so with advanced filter, I wanted us to start from the date, that is the column X. So now what I'm going to do is let's ignore this one here. So now let's remove this and bring this one here. So 1, let's say 2. So now we are going to ignore this and that. So select this and clear content here. So now select this one. Let's go back to the name manager here. Let's delete this one here. Yes, let's delete it. So let's create new one here, and let's paste the same name there, and then here select this. So equal to, then offset, open a parenthesis, we won't offset the first row here, comma 1, 0, count A. Okay, then we close, so we open the parenthesis rather, then we select the entire column, then we close it, comma, then 9 columns now, excluding the first one we just take off. So click on OK. We select this, and then we have this up and running. So there we go. So we close this. So now the advanced filter is also now set. So everything is looking good now without any issue. So now let's go and run our form and see what is going to happen here. So let's run the form now. Okay, we need to fix some issues here. So let's debug this form and see something. Data display. Okay, now subscript out of range is basically about the name of the sheet. So we have it data display. So we call it data underscore display instead of display data. So now yes, correct that, data display. So now let's go back here and run our form once again. Perfect. So now let's try capturing some details of the visitors and see how things are going to look like. Okay, so now let's enter the name, but before then let's format this list boxes here. This is the list box 2 if I'm correct. Okay, this is the list box 1 here. This is the list box 1. So let's format it appropriately. Let's go to fonts, font group. So select this, and then here we have bold, Times New Roman, and then 10. I think 9 will not be bad. Okay, and then we want to center the text. So select this, and then let's move it up a bit. Select the second one, list box 2 now. Let's go to fonts again and format it exactly same. So bold, Times New Roman, 9 will not be bad. There you go. So now let's select the 1 and place it on top of 2. There we go. I think they all place on each other now. So let's save our work. Let's run this. Perfect. Everything is looking good now. So there we go. So now let's try to capture some details here. So visitor's name, John Doe. And then quickly let's come here. Mobile number, let's say 05425908854. And then meeting with maybe agents or whatever. Agent, maybe purpose is business. And then address, let's say ABC Limited. There we go. And once we are done, let's click on submit. So now record is submitted. So we have that here. So you can see it is also on the table. So if you should follow this tutorial step by step, you should be able to come out with this amazing system. So now we have captured the time, that is the in time, which is here. So now let's see how we can update the out time. So to do that, we are going to be selecting this, and then let's click on update out time. So you click on that, and then the out time is updated. So now if we should scroll this way up to here, you have the out time. You have the out time here, and then the stay time is what? That's 25 seconds. So now when we check our table, database table here, you realize that we have everything here up and running. So at this point, you should have this complete system up and running on your screen, on your PC without any issue. So let's format this one, Times New Roman, and then bold it and center them effectively, and there you go. So save your work. So you can go ahead and add as many. So now let's add another visitor. Let's say Benson Kwame, and then mobile number 05. So these are just fake numbers, right? So purpose of meeting with, let's say, head. Purpose is about, let's say, fees, and address maybe GESHQ headquarters. Perfect. So now we submit that as well. There we go. So now let's wait for some few seconds. Now let's update the out time. Select it and click on update out time. Okay, sorry, out time is already updated. So now this is the person we update. So you can see that the one you've already updated, the out time, if you select it and run update out time, it's not going to work. It's going to give you feedback that you've already done that. So now let's select the one we just added and update the out time. So it says what that is updated. Now when we scroll this way to check, so you realize that he also spent just 24 seconds, and basically that is that. So now here, if we try to search by name, we have two people. We have John Doe and then Benson Kwame. So let's filter by, let's say, visitor name. So here let's type John Doe. Okay, John Doe, and let's refresh. So you see that we filtered only John Doe. When you filter by what, let's say by meeting with, meeting with heads. So meeting with, so let's type heads and see something here. Refresh. Okay, now let me just convert it to capitals and see something. Refresh. Now let me check, is there anyone who met with the heads? Let me confirm that first before we see. Basically, I think let me check this here. Meeting with, okay, it's head, not heads. That was the point. So now let's run it and check. Meeting with head. Okay, so let's refresh. So perfect. So that is also there and working. So basically you can see that you have this amazing visitors logbook working up and running. So you can see that you can use this to log in any visitor that visit your school or workplace, and you don't have any issue. In case you would want to retrieve any record, they have the filters for you. You can choose the date, click on this, let's say from 1st January to 30th January or 31st. When you filter, all those who came to your workplace or school within this time frame will be filtered, and whatever purpose you would want to use it for, you can go ahead and do that. So basically that is that. I'll leave the source files excluding the system in the video description below. You can just download it and go ahead and use it and follow the video tutorial step by step and come up with this amazing system without any problem, without any issue. Now the first good news is that KingTech Coding Clinic is launching 3 straight months mentorship program on MS Excel VBA application development. Okay, if you would want to learn MS Excel VBA programming and be able to design, develop, deploy, plan, design, develop, and deploy your own MS Excel VBA application, then this mentorship program is for you. Okay, this is going to run for 3 straight months. We have learned and we have taught our students how to develop one system to another, but I think at this point enough is enough. That is something like we giving you fish. It is time to teach you how to fish so that you can develop any kind of application of your choice. And like I said, it's going to be a very powerful, straightforward 3 straight months mentorship program on MS Excel VBA programming. I'll leave the link to the WhatsApp platform, the general WhatsApp platform, in the video description. Just go ahead and click on the link and join the WhatsApp platform and wait for updates on when and how the program is going to roll out. Okay, if you would want to understand everything about VBA, then this mentorship program is for you. We are not going to learn how to develop any specific application. You are going to design or decide the kind of application you would want us to develop, or you would want us to mentor you develop. But before we get to that level, we are going to be teaching you step by step from the basics, the fundamentals of VBA. Learn how all these models and how all these frames and events and everything works inside the VBA, how each and every control is used and manipulated. So once we cover that, then we begin building basic projects. Once we are done, then we move on to what advanced project, where we are going to be building systems like banking system. Let's talk of pharmacy systems. Let's talk of maybe inventory systems, school management. Just name them. We're going to build a lot of systems within this same mentorship program. And finally, the student will decide the kind of system they would want to develop. And we are going to mentor them from the beginning of the project till the end. And certificate to be awarded at the end of this amazing course. So if you would want to have access to this mentorship program, check the link in the video description below. Just click on the link and join, and then you will have access to all the updates concerning this program. The program is going to start on the 1st of February, but for now we have the general WhatsApp platform where all the information concerning the program are being shared. So check the link in the video description, join the WhatsApp platform, and wait for the update for this program. As you can see, with this system we've just developed, we just copied all the codes and just pasted them. But as to how these codes are working, you can't tell, except some few of our students who knew something about VBA, who have been following us for long. They may be able to tell and modify this source code to their advantage. But what if you would also want to do that, learn and master all this and be able to modify any system of your choice, be able to develop, design, deploy your own system, your own way and how you want it, and market it the way you want. You want to learn that, right? Then check the link in the video description and join the platform and wait for update. So basically that is that. Now the second good news is that we've just released the version 3.1 of our school management system by adding the most two popular requests our users have requested for. That is what inventory system as well as the logbook we've just created. If you've already created your system, you can embed the logbook we've just created inside. Now let's see how this inventory stuff works. So now you just log in as an admin, and there we go. So there we go. So now let's start with the inventory. So you can see we have the visitors logbook here, so which is going to be like this, and then we have the inventory. So with the inventory, it's a very powerful feature we've just included here, which helps you to cover. It is actually a dynamic system that is going to help you cover everything you have in the school, ranging from books, other materials like uniform, just name them. Everything you would want to capture, the inventory does that, because it has a unique way of generating unique code for each and every item and their categories, and distribution and everything is done within this same inventory system. Let's see how it works. So first of all, what you need to do after bringing in your stock or whatever, you would have to get items code for each and every item. So you do that by grabbing this form, and the codes are actually automatically being generated. So you enter the item name, the category, the type of the item. Maybe the item is school uniform, the category is for girls, then the main school uniform, and then the class it belongs to. You choose the class, and then once you submit this, it's going to generate a unique code that looks like this for that particular item. So you add all the items, and then the code should be automatically generated. So once the codes are generated, you need to open your stock now. So by coming to opening stock data, so this is where you are coming to capture the stock you already have in the system, in the school. For instance, you've just gotten the system, you already have some materials you are using. So you are just going to capture all these materials here by grabbing the code. Once you choose the code, and then you enter the opening stock, the number of items you have available, you enter that, and then the number you would want to always keep anytime the stock is getting to finish. You don't want everything to finish. You would want some of them to be maybe to remain for other reasons. So you capture that number here and save. So you do that for all the other items. So once you do that, you would want to actually go ahead and then start with the stock out data. Now before we come to stock out, you would want to come to stock in. So with the stock in, this has to do with new stocks that have just come into the system, into the school. So you capture the names of the items, you capture the dates the items have been brought, the code of the item. Since you have items code generated, each and every item code will be here, the quantity that has been brought, and then the unit cost, the price per item. So you capture that for all the items that have just been brought in. So once that happens, you have that as well. You can equally just click on this print button and you can generate reports based on this. So if you want a detailed tutorials on this inventory system, I have that separate on the Telegram channel. You can check the link in the video description and you see how this stock inventory system works. So now we come to distribution. When you hit this distribution button, what's going to happen is that you can generate distribution reports here. For instance, when you click on this and click generate report, this will filter those who have actually, let's say this is freezing, sorry. This will filter students who have actually taken, based on this code, it will filter students who have actually taken their maybe consignment based on these items or the codes here. So far, we have just one student, so this will generate the report for that particular student to show that these items, it is only this number of students who have taken these items. So that is that about the report. Now we come to distribution of the stock. So you click on distribution. This is where you are going to distribute the stock to the student. So let's say a student is coming to take the cloth or uniform cloth. So what's going to happen is this: you choose the item code for that particular cloth. You choose that. So once you choose that and just click here, you have the name of the item, the category of the item, and then the item type will also pop up, and then the class of that item. So that will tell you whether that student is for that class or not. So once you are done, you just go ahead and grab the name of the student here. Everything is automated for you. The stream the student belongs in. If there is no stream in your school, you can leave this empty. And who is receiving that item for the student, you type in the person's name, contact details of the person's name, and choose the date the item is being received, then the quantity that is being received, and then the remarks, and save. So this is a very powerful inventory system to have ever been developed in Excel VBA. You try it and you see how this amazing system works. So now it has been added to the school management system, as well as the visitors logbook also added. So you can just clear your inventory data by hitting this button. You click yes and the data will be cleared, else it should be cancelled. So we have this system also released. You can check the link in the video description and then grab it at this low cost before the price skyrocket. So basically that is that, and thank you so much for watching. For our next series of video tutorials, bye.